I'm originally from a small town in the Midwest, the United States. So grew up around lots of cornfields, grew up playing a lot of sports. And I currently live in New Orleans, Louisiana. My fitness expertise is mostly in strength training. I do have some like HIIT style workouts and try to incorporate lots of different types of movement into my workouts, but it's really rooted in the idea of growing your body in a strong way. Um, so maybe 6 years ago, I went to my first group fitness class ever. And about a year before that, I began like recovery from disordered eating behavior. I originally didn't want to go to a group fitness class. A friend of mine had asked me to go. We still laugh about this. And I remember thinking, this is going to be stupid. I was standing next to a woman who was probably 2 times my age, and I saw her loading up the weights on her barbell. And so I thought I could do it. At the end of the class, the community and the instructor just, it made a difference that I was there and that they noticed me. Everybody was excited that I was there. And I remember thinking, what a cool moment that I got to experience with other people and challenge my body. I want to be able to do this for other people and facilitate that feeling of, I feel good in my body. I feel good about being in this place. And I mean, literally 2 months later, I was at the training for that class.
Really? Wow.
It happened really quickly. And that was about 6 years ago. I love the different ways that we can focus on fitness, right? There's so many different ways that we can engage in movement, from dance and moving our bodies in a fun way to lifting really heavy stuff to running to being on a spin bike. There are endless ways to move your body, and there's so many different points of accessibility. I think that the fitness industry is coming around to the idea that we can continue to embrace those ways of movement instead of it looks this way and keeping it in a pretty small box. The other thing that, my favorite part about being a trainer and about the fitness industry in general is that we have really the ability to change people's lives and allow them to live their life fully. Our bodies, if we take care of them, can help us really experience life and our friends, our family, places we travel to the fullest. And getting to hear those stories and how people's mindsets have changed or how they have been able to live their lives better because of movement that they were able to do, really makes me like that makes me feel good as an instructor. Ooh, this is a great question. It's really hard to speak, I think, to like every trainer, right? I can only speak to, the things that I think I struggle with, or, even like the other trainers that I'm in, dialogue with. And so I just want to say, I think it's awesome that you're doing what you're doing, because so many times I think instructors face like their struggles alone. I think that's like one of the issues is that we silo ourselves because it feels like, oh, we have to be in competition with other instructors and other people for clients, right? We're all competing for the same people. And so then we tend to isolate ourselves and pretend that any issue or challenge we're facing, it's happening alone. And that's what I love about what you're doing is you're connecting instructors and trainers and being able to say like, we can work together to support one another. Because really the only people, that's really, something that we don't take a moment to really do is recognize, oh, this other person probably understands a lot about the things that I'm
absolutely
facing as an instructor and trainer.
Yeah.
Something that I think a lot about as an instructor is imposter syndrome, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I the right person to be doing this? Should I be talking about health and wellness
Mm-hmm.
if I don't think I'm at like my peak health and wellness? And am I the person that should be giving this advice? And sometimes I think, especially to women, don't feel like their place or their voice is important.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I've had to overcome that, just really connecting with other trainers and community, working on like my own insecurities and practicing gratitude and mindfulness. But that's the internal work. That's a great question. So March 2020, I had been teaching at 2 different gyms, I think 6 days a week. Really, that was my main outlet, in addition to just my other full-time job. Since March 2020, when things shut down, I haven't been back into a studio and teaching. I quickly, within the first week, thinking, this pandemic, I had that moment of, this is going to last a few weeks. We'll all be working from home, no big deal. That perspective just cracks me up to think about now. But within the next week, I just started doing online classes. So I teach twice a week, Tuesday, Thursday morning, just open call, thinking if I can just give people something to hold them over for a little bit, everything will go back to normal. Little did I know, a year ago, that this would still be going. And I think with the pivot, I've had to really focus on, myself and teaching those online classes, and pivoting to keeping a consistent schedule, one that helped me just stay as sane as I can, and take care of my own mental health. But giving people a consistent practice, I think, has been one of the biggest benefits that I could have offered. So for a year, my times haven't changed. It's been every Tuesday, Thursday, and people know that they can really rely on that schedule. I think, the other thing that trainers have kind of been forced to confront is the value that they add to a gym or a studio. And the benefit that we bring. The relationship with the clients is so impactful. And I'm sure other trainers experience this too. People reaching out to them during the time and trying to still connect. But a lot of times I think trainers haven't been able to advocate for their worth within a gym or a studio. So it's been really interesting for me to have that recognition of the value people place on my service. And that's a lot different than the value or service that I may have been, being compensated for. And so I think that's been an eye-opening experience. And it's allowed me to really grow my own community and my own brand during this time, which has been really special, and meaningful for me, but I hope meaningful for all of, my team. It's so hard to speculate. But I actually think that this is an incredible opportunity for the fitness industry. More than ever, wellness and health is on a forefront. Everybody is thinking about their health right now. And it's an opportunity for us to provide accessibility into the fitness industry. So I think we're going to see an influx of people who are wanting to be part of communities. I think the shift from thinness, and being skinny and thin, to being strong, long-term movement. I know these are things that trainers have always been aware of, but I think the shift in clients who are looking for that too is much, much stronger now. And people are going to be looking looking for, how can I do things long term? How can I improve my overall health? And I think we're going to need to keep up with that. How do we offer a community experience rather than just come in, take a class, and leave? Because we're competing with different avenues like Peloton, like people who are offering, other community-based workouts. You're going to have to provide some place that people feel connected to you and to others. Yeah. I think the United States, it's a struggle because health is not, I think, as big of a priority as it should be in the United States. Even when we look at like our medical communities, it's treating symptoms of health rather than addressing some of the root of the issues. Our culture in the United States does really still revolve around being thin means healthy. So I think trying to shift that from thin doesn't necessarily mean somebody's healthy, and shifting to a place that there can be health at lots of different sizes, and everybody's measure of health is going to look a little bit different. We all have different bodies, and health will look different for that. I think our culture is moving to a place where exercise is really joyful and fun and something that we get to engage in. But for a long time, I think in the United States, it was, a punishment based, this is something I have to do. It's not something I like to do or want to do. But I think the more that trainers can really help people feel that and feel the energy, that's creating a long-term impact in how people see their bodies, how they view exercise. And it's eventually going to be a domino effect, right? You have, when kids see their parents enjoying exercise, making their health a priority, they're instilled with that same concept. So I think it's going to take some time to undo, what the cultural norms have been. But that's where trainers come in, right? Yeah. And instead of really focusing on like, let's burn off, what you did this weekend, let's feel how strong your body is right now. And, by making strong arms, you're going to be able to like pick up your kids and play with them and run around all day. So I think helping people see your exercise is a great thing for you, but it's also going to be these long-term shifts for other people in your life. I hope those are the tides that are turning in the US. I love this question. Honestly, you're not for everyone. And what I mean by that is, I think sometimes, I know when I started as an instructor, I really wanted to be the trainer for every single person and every single body, and realizing there are going to be people that don't jive with my style, and that's okay. I need to be authentic to who I am as an instructor and not bend at a whim.
Yeah.
The right people are going to stay with me. And then I'm also releasing, the people that need to go find like their instructors that speak to them.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes we get really focused on trying to like fit the mold and be what everybody needs. And you're not going to be able to do that. And just by kind of like releasing that, I felt like I got to be true to myself. And I feel like I've been much more effective since I've stepped into that space of being authentic versus worrying about, am I making everybody else happy? I mean, it's the long-term mindset shifts that people have shared with me. The most empowering thing that I think I hear from my clients is just, you've helped me change the way I see my body and my mindset on exercise. And whether or not, we continue to train together, I think that's the most powerful thing is I want people to feel good about exercise, and I want people to feel good about their body right now, like right in the moment before we even do anything. They should know, like, you're good enough and we can still work on things. And that's what motivates me is hearing that reflected back, and knowing that I am helping create that culture change I want to see. His name is Woods. He is originally from the US, but is now based in Australia. He's with Les Mills. He is encouraging. He is motivating. He is so authentic to who he is. You could type out a script and be able to pick out like where Marlon is talking in a master class video, because his style once you've taken like one of his classes. And what I really love about him is I think he talks a lot about masculinity, and does a lot of work in like the fitness industry around masculinity. He's also a Black man, and I think is like making space and group fitness accessible for people of color, like reflected as a trainer. And that's, really important to me. But more than anything, I just think he is so fun and authentic to who he is. And that I find so inspiring. My motto as a trainer is your 100% today. I think a lot of people focus on my workout has to be the best workout I've ever had today. And if that's the constant, you can never have an off day. And you kind of set yourself up for failure over and over again. But if you just focus on, am I 100% here right now in this moment? That's my motto, is like, is it the 100% I have in me today?